And so these were the, we received about 55 applications across the 3 categories. And essentially, it was a really, really difficult process to kind of whittle down to the final 3 or 4 solutions that are our winners today. But these were the areas or the criteria that we were assessing these applications on. We wanted to understand how innovative or impactful these solutions were and in what context they were set. Whether they were scalable and replicable, that is within their own geographies across the country, how inclusive and how much did they benefit the communities that they worked with, or where these solutions were located, how did they sort of provide benefits to them, and these were not only social benefits but also economic and livelihood benefits. And then at the most sort of basic level, what kind of ecosystem benefits and environmental benefits were these solutions providing, and were they, able to provide ecological integrity into the contexts and geographies where they were located. And so on that note, I would just like to invite some of our partners so that we can award the top 3, actually the best in each of the categories. Jaya, could you join us? Four awards, yes. Vishwas, is he still around? All right, Suresh from WWF, also coming in 2 minutes. Oh Lord. Rishika, also outside. Rishika's here, okay. Sorry to rush you. Vishwas, Jaya, Suresh, and Rishika, if you could just join us on stage. Thank you. All right. So I think we'll start with the enabler category. Shriparna Sil, are you in the room? Starting with the enabler category. Yeah. Is she not? Oh, they're both here. So she... So congratulations, Shriparna. Shriparna was working on Sanchay, a tool essentially based in Jodhpur on water security and community resilience. Thank you so much. Next up, we have the implementation category. So this one was especially hard for us to choose, and so we have a joint 2 winners together. So we have Shailesh Hariharan from the Madras Terrace. This was for work on the water balance model in Chennai. And we have Dulari Parmar from YUVA in Mumbai, looking at sort of community resilience models. Is this someone from YUVA? We could take a photograph of both of you together as well. All right. All right. Yeah, of all the enabler, there's champions not here. I'm Shriparna, would you like to join the... Yeah, please, please. So that's not with us today, so she couldn't join. Yeah. And I'll just announce the final awardee. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us today, but if we could just have her up on the screen. Sorry, could you project the presentation? Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry, if you just hang on 1 second. Could you project? Yeah, so the winner in the champion category is Miss Sudha S, who's with the Indian Forestry Service and works with the State Planning Commission in the government of Tamil Nadu. So they had shared a project on lake restoration, but also working strongly on how NbS can then be mainstreamed through heat mitigation plans in the state as well. So congratulations to all of our winners. And now, for the benefit of everyone else in the audience, our winners are actually going to walk us through their presentations, just sharing a little bit more on the projects that they had submitted, the nature of the work, what's the impact that has been anticipated or projected as a result of their projects, and then also looking a little bit at potential sort of unintended externalities or consequences. So first up, I would like to invite Arijit from Seeds. So Arijit was a runner-up in the NbS champion category. Yeah. How do you?
I think there will be presentation. View. Is there a view?
Do you know how to present from?
Is this the PDF version?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a PDF. What about you? Okay.
Thank you so much. Hi, good evening, everyone. The room seems quite off right now because most of the people have left, but still I'll take the opportunity to thank all of you for staying back and understanding what we have been doing for the last 30 years. So Seeds as an organization, we have been in the since the last 3 decades kind of building resilience for communities in urban and rural infrastructure, wherein probably enabling all those solutions which we have been talking about today. We have been kind of implementing it in hyperlocal setups from the last 30 years, and that's how I would define Seeds as. So Seeds has been awarded as the United Nations Sasakawa Award in 2022, as well as
Sorry to do this to you, but I just need to duplicate my screen.
No problem. Sure. Thank you. So again, we are also a Subhash Chandra Bose Apada awardee in 2021. That's the category which we are very proud of, and thanks to that. But we also have been, so Seeds as an organization always have been working under as a practice organization under frameworks where we kind of enable solutions understanding through through the climate lens primarily, where we anticipate and assess in terms of what the need is, and then eventually kind of build solutions which are hyper local, specifically to local setups, and eventually then for communities to thrive in that setup. So under the urban program that we have launched, where we have kind of submitted our categories, where we have been reviving few water bodies in urban setups in Delhi, as well as other urban infrastructures in Bangalore, under the SURGE program, which is the Seeds Urban Resilience Governance Enablement Initiative. So we have been carrying on this initiative in 4 major metro cities, where Delhi has been one of the where we have submitted two awards for the award category. The one was the Wazirabad Lake, which has been in a very dilapidated state for the last, for the last 10 years. Sorry, for the last 10 years. So we revived it in a very nature-based solutions framework, where we primarily tried to involve the community, as our head of the organization, Dr. Manu Gupta, also mentioned. So community engagement is one of our very key parameter for enabling this function, right? And this lake that we have revived in Wazirabad, which right now you can please visit, understand what has changed in that setup for the community to, and also the biodiversity to thrive. And that is where we say that it's a holistic approach that we always take as an organization. So it's a similar thing that we have done in Jharsa, which I think Dr. Manu Gupta mentioned as well in his conversation. So as I mentioned, that SEEDS as an organization have always tried to work under practice frameworks. So this is the framework that we have built for our solutions in terms of nature-based solutions, where we have primarily categorized under 3 major categories of coastal bioshields, where one of our major works is under mangrove plantation, restoration and rejuvenation, and land loss mitigation strategy, and the water body rejuvenation strategy. So the framework primarily has many co-benefits for not only the community, but for the fauna and flora to also thrive in that space, right? So that's basic few pictures that from our site in Wazirabad. This was what it is. This is what it has transformed to. There are 2 sections of it. One is the park, a children park that we have developed, and this is the water body, which was 10 years back. And sorry, we haven't shared the recent picture. This is not the recent picture. Apologies for that. Few impact areas that we have tried to create, where it had water quality improvement, we had enhanced recreational activities, we had improved physical and mental well-being, because the community kinds of uses the space for a different, for a different motive altogether. There are economic impacts to it, and biodiversity enhancement for overall habitat, enhancement. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And just for everyone to note, these are on display also outside in the exhibition, and we will be adding them to our website as case studies as well. Next, I'd invite Shiparna, and yeah, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to say thank you firstly, and then start by talking about one of our many interventions, which we call as School Tool or Sanchay. I would like to start by pointing out the problems that we have addressed, which are by and large the same everywhere. So firstly, the point that I would like to mention is that we have an old habit of imposing our solutions, wherein we forget that there is, wherein we forget to consider that there is already a knowledge, traditional knowledge present in the society. Second, we forget that our society is a system of systems. Thirdly, which is very important, that we all realize that our problems are very multi-dimensional, but our solutions are not at all transdisciplinary. And finally, because we fail to understand all these problems, we have a habit of putting a band-aid when something bad happens. So to talk about our objective, it was mainly to explore the possibility and mainstream and understand the traditional knowledge of a society and use that into the for climate action and disaster risk reduction. To talk about our actions very quickly, first thing that I would like to say is that we assisted NRDC India and MHT to integrate traditional knowledge into the heat action plan of Jodhpur. Secondly, we could have stopped there, but we wanted to understand these traditional knowledges, and hence we documented the cultural climate culture story of Jodhpur, which is also present. You can scan and watch whenever you all are free. Thirdly, while documenting these stories and narratives of Jodhpur, what we realized was that mainly the knowledge bearers of the society are the women. Hence, we organized a workshop known as Manthan, where we also included children, wherein we wanted to understand that there is a intergenerational transfer of knowledge. We also conducted an architectural study to understand why the old houses of Jodhpur have an ambient indoor temperature, and submitted the report to the corporation, wherein we hope to help them with the problem of urban heat islands. Finally, we wanted to also leverage water culture for climate action, and hence we did an immersive workshop with students and teachers, wherein they voiced their thoughts very loudly. To quickly run through our impacts, I would say that Jodhpur is a very confident city now, where they use their cultural knowledge for climate action. As because we are running very short of time, I'll quickly wrap it up by saying that we were very grateful that we got recognized by the King of Jodhpur. And also, it's very, we are very happy to say that our work is having a long-lasting impact, as even after a year of our intervention, we see that it's projected and it is helping create livelihood. This is our global footprint and the work that we are doing. And I'd like to conclude by saying that on the occasion of International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction, we as GRID Corps are doing something big in Kolkata, and we would like to invite anybody who is interested for a collaboration. Thank you.
So I'll just invite the runner-up in the same category, the enabler category, Deepali Punjabi. All right, her colleague is here though.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm Kopal from CERE. I'm representing the Urban Afforestation Project. So before delving into the details of our project, I would like to quickly discuss the challenges that urban spaces are facing. I think the crowd here is very well aware of the same, which is diminishing green spaces, urban heat island effect, climate change, the talk of the town, air pollution, and habitat loss. Now, the solution that we have come up with is that we are planting urban forests. We are growing native species. We are partnering with the local community and other NGOs and CSOs. We are also utilizing CSR funds to enable this solution. One of the most unique things about our project is that the methodology has been approved by KPMG as per the standards of ISAE 3410. So our auditing process is also very robust. And we also provide carbon sequestration certificates to the organizations that we are working with. We were established in 2015, this particular division of ours. And since then, almost 3 lakh trees have been planted. This plantation is all across India. We have 128 plantation sites. We have planted across 200 native tree species, and our survival rate is greater than 90%. We are well aware of the environment benefits of afforestation, whether it's reducing air pollution, producing oxygen, especially impacting urban microclimates. Now, quantifying this environmental benefit of our project, we have been able to sequester around 51,000 metric tons of CO2e. 5% of our saplings are keystone species, and we have created around 38 lakhs meter square of green spaces, equal to around 700 football fields. These are some before and after pictures of our plantation. This is from Aurangabad. This one is from Pudzal Lake in Chennai. Now, moving on to the other leg of benefits, we have our social benefits as well. One of the most interesting one that I find is actually reduce crime and traffic, as research shows that more green spaces actually lead to reduced crimes rates and fewer road accidents. Of course, we have aesthetic values, improving health, noise pollution as well. Now, quantifying this as well, CERE has around 1,000 direct beneficiaries. These are our laborers, gardeners, security staff, etc. And we have 61 lakh indirect beneficiaries. These are people living in the vicinity of the spaces, visitors to the public gardens, etc. Along with that, we provide a holistic solution to our clients as well. We have volunteer programs where their employees can come and volunteer. We have around 2,000 employee volunteers and 6,300 volunteer hours. Now, this is one of the examples that came up in the previous presentation as well, the Wazirabad Bund. Over 10,000 saplings were planted in collaboration with IIM Gurgaon. As we said, that collaboration is a very important aspect of our project. And as you can see clearly the impact of the same. Now, the last leg of the benefits, which is the economic benefits, of course, reduced energy demand is one of the highest economic benefit of afforestation. Along with that, we are also supporting SDGs. And I would like to say that we are also trying to think about it holistically, not just in terms of afforestation. We are currently partnering with RUR Green Life, an organization based out of Bombay, to also curb the plastic waste that is generating from the saplings. And yeah, thank you so much. And please do visit our website for more information. Thank you.
And finally, in the implementation category, Shailesh, could you join us?
Good evening. I'll try to keep it short. So it started with a project called Water as Leverage. It's a Dutch initiative which looked at Southeast Asia and cities which are affected by the climate change in water. Chennai was chosen as one. As a larger collective, we bid for the project, and you see the partners that we have: IIT Madras, CERE, Who's Architects, Dutch firms. And the question when we started is this: why is Chennai stuck between these two conditions? In 15, we had flooding, and 18, we almost hit ground zero. And then we realized we receive enough amount of rain, soil 80% has the capacity to hold water in aquifers, and we had a historic system which has been functioning for 2000 years. So the question is, why are we failing? The problem that we really realized is cities are becoming linear systems, as we had discussed through the days. It is only consumption and expulsion of whatever resources we have consumed, and the concretization, impervious nature of cities causing urban surface runoff, and then the rain that comes down in 2 months is not captured effectively. So we had a vision. So we said, from whatever the city is becoming a linear system, we'll convert it into an abundant planning. And this is the framework that we started with. Here we thought we will use NbS as tools to cause a change in the urban fabric. We came up with a lot of measures, and you can, as the name goes, 1,000 tanks, which are historic landscapes of Chennai. So we came up with pilot projects or potential vision projects, and we had ways and means to integrate NbS inside the built environment. But this is all theoretical. We needed to ground this project in a pilot which could demonstrate what we are speaking, because at the end of the day, tangible evidence is required, and people need to see what NbS means rather than just saying bioswales or so, unless and until you can physically see it and how they function. So we started our project in Little Flower Convent, which is a school for differently able children, visually and hearing loss children. So this is at heart of Chennai, and this represents the city's condition as well. During summer, because it's a 90-year-old complex, you have sewage backflow into the campus during the summer, and during the rain, this is in November 7, 2021, the campus was almost flooded. The visually challenged children had to be saved through boats. So it mimicked the city's condition, and we took it as a challenge to see how we can solve it. So this is the solution that we came. So the consumption or the production of wastewater is about 27,000 liters inside the campus. So the objective was to treat it using nature-based systems and to improve the flood mitigation capacities through deep recharge wells in collaboration with IIT. So these are the systems. We have a settler, anaerobic reactor, constructed wetland, and the ground infiltration system. And you can see the results of the water chemistry, what we collect as raw sewage and what we get as the treated water, through simple anaerobic process and constructed wetland. and this is the impact that we have. So what was a barren space now becomes a lush green space in the middle of the convent. And the great part of NbS is you can this is at core STP, but the positioning of it is at the heart of the settlement, heart of the place where the sisters are, and it causes so much amount of liveliness to the campus by itself. So that is the greatness of NbS. Even though it's an infrastructure, it provides multidimensional assets and benefits to people. It cools the environment, biodiversity, and this is the inauguration by the Minister for Municipal Administration, Henko, in the water envoy for the Netherlands. And then this is the remote monitoring, so you can actually click the link and we know how much amount of sewage came into the system today and what is the groundwater level at this instance. And we have a rain gauge which tells what amount of rain came down yesterday. So we are quantifying, we are documenting it, we are understanding it over the years, so data builds up. And capacity building, we are using this model in platforms to engage with students, to go across the city, to understand, bring it out. Okay, I'm done. And that's it.
Sorry to cut you short, Shailesh, but we are looking to do a masterclass on the water balance model and this entire experience. So for everyone who wants to hear more, it's going to be an hour-long session on this. And now to our final, but not least, as I said, team YUVA, presenting on their work in Mumbai.
Hi everyone. Thanks a lot for this opportunity and for the great honor. We are really honored to receive the award. So, founded in 1984, YUVA is a rights based non-profit working with marginalized populations to empower them, enable them to access their rights. Today I'm joined by Mehak and Prakash. Today I'm also representing a lot of hard work of the entire team. So this work actually started in partnership with WRI under the Cities for Forest initiative, Mumbai's urban greening initiative. I want to share a story today, story of Lalubhai compound, which starts in early 2000s. A lot of demolition happened in 2000s where project affected people from across Mumbai were shifted to Lalubhai compound, a rehabilitation and resettlement colony located in Mankhurd, Mumbai. Closely built towers with less or no buffer spaces between the buildings. Extremely unjust planning has led to the formation of Lalubhai compound. These unjust planning is not only an outcome of policy but also the development control rules that are separate for rehabilitation and resettlement colonies. So open spaces in such a context become important spaces for recovery. But the part 2 of this story is that Lalubhai compound had extremely concretized open spaces, which were exacerbating the existing conditions of heat in the settlement. Littered with garbage, this was only left abandoned to be dotted by drug abusers, and children and women felt unsafe in this space. So the approach was very simple. Also, we started with imagining nature-based solution, but it was also leading to participatory placemaking eventually towards the project discussions. So in order to address climate and social vulnerabilities, not just climate vulnerabilities, we had a two-pronged approach like I shared. One was nature-based solutions, which was documenting the existing conditions and then ensuring native tree plantation, but also identifying priority action areas through co-design workshops, learning sessions. And this was again through multiple partners. WRI was one of the key partners in these entire processes, but also the government officials, botany experts, etc. Yes, so holding hands together, this space was generated. I'd hand over to Mehak to share some of her learnings.
जिंदाबाद साथियों, मेरा नाम है महक और मैं बाल अधिकार संघर्ष संगठन की बाल साथी हूँ। बाल अधिकार संघर्ष संगठन एक बच्चों का संगठन है जो बच्चों के मुद्दों को लेकर काम करता है। उसी से रिलेटेड जहाँ मैं रहती हूँ मुंबई लल्लूभाई कंपाउंड में, वहाँ एक जगह है जो बहुत कई सालों से ऐसी पड़ी थी, जहाँ कोई खेलने नहीं आता था या कोई उतरता नहीं था। वहाँ जाने सब डरते थे, उन्हें डर लगता था वहाँ जाने के लिए। वहाँ सब नशा करते थे, वो जगह साफ़ नहीं थी और उस जगह से हमें तकलीफ़ होती थी कि जो नशा करते थे वहाँ का जो धुआं आता था बिल्डिंग में, उस वजह से हमें तकलीफ़ होती थी। उसके बाद जब वहाँ BSS और युवा की प्रक्रिया शुरू हुई, उसके बाद हमने उस जगह को क्लेम करने का सोचा। क्लेम करने का सोचा तो कैसे, तो हमने उस जगह पर अलग अलग एक्टिविटीज़ ली। हमने वहाँ खेल खेले, न्यू गेम, और हमने एक बिल्डिंग का ग्रुप बनाया। जो बिल्डिंग का ग्रुप रोज़ उधर जाके हर हफ्ते में एक बार अपनी मीटिंग करता था और उसके बाद वो जगह अभी हम वहाँ जा सकते हैं, वो हमारे यूज़फुल हो चुकी है। थैंक यू।
Thanks, Meg. Just some closing remarks is that the case of Lallubhai, like my colleague Shimon, who facilitates a lot of meetings here, mentions that it's not just about implementing nature-based solutions, but it's also developing that long-term social connect with the nature, which we as human beings have lost over time. So when he facilitates his session, he says that treat that tree as your friend. Speak to them, share your anger, share your love and care to them. So it's that larger long-term value system that we are trying to build in the children that we are working with. Mehak has shared an example of that. Challenges, of course, this process was not easy. I would just like to skip that because Lallubhai compound exists as an unjust space, which was an outcome of unjust planning systems. We have these problems and now we are trying to resolve them. So I think larger systemic changes are required, and this journey continues at 3 levels: institutional, community and individual level that we're looking at, and we are already expanded to 3 different locations in Lallubhai compound and another one in P North Ward. Thanks.
And that brings us to the close of today. I know it has been a very long day, but I think thanks so much for closing for us on such an inspirational note. Thank you all for being here today, keeping us, energized throughout this very long day, very intense agenda. We will be sharing, similar to what Priya had said earlier, we'll be sharing a summary of the key takeaways from the session. We will be in touch. There are a number of sort of touch points moving forward. We do have the research program RFPs that will be shared. We are putting these together into conference proceedings, which will also be shared widely. We want to speak with all of you about the projects that you've been working on, what you've submitted to the program, what is outside on the exhibition, to document and add to our repository online. And as I'd mentioned at the start of today, there are a number of ways to engage with the forum. We do have task forces, we have our various communication channels. We want to do these events more frequently and more regionally, as was requested by a number of participants over the course of the day. So we will be in touch, and thank you so much again for all your contributions today. It's been a really exciting day for me, at least. Thank you.